just when fans thought they had said their final goodbye to Ty Borden. Heartland Season 19 throws a twist no one saw coming. A single moment, a quiet look, a familiar voice, a face long missed, brings everything to a stop. Is it really Ty, or is Amy seeing what she wishes more than anything could be true? The ranch hasn't been the same since he left. Amy tried to stay strong. Lindy grew up with only stories and photos of the father she never really got to know. And now, suddenly he's back. This is more than a surprise, it's the emotional earthquake that shakes the very heart of Heartland. Ty Borden's return doesn't just shock Amy and her family. It might change everything. It happens in a quiet moment. The kind of moment Heartland fans know so well, soft wind blowing across the fields, horses moving gently in the distance, and Amy standing near the barn, lost in thought. She hears a voice, faint, familiar. She freezes. The camera doesn't need to show his face right away. The weight of silence says everything. Hey, Amy. It's a voice she hasn't heard in years. A voice she hears in her dreams. Slowly, she turns. Her eyes widen. Viewers can see the emotion hit her: confusion, shock, hope, and heartbreak all at once. It's Ty. He's standing just a few steps away, looking exactly like he did the last time they saw each other. Strong, calm, gentle. For a second, Amy doesn't move. She can't. Time feels frozen. Even the background music holds its breath. Is this real? In Season 19, Heartland delivers a moment that breaks all expectations. Ty Borden, the character whose death tore the hearts out of millions of fans in Season 14, is suddenly back. No announcement, no build-up, just there. A moment designed to knock the air out of the audience. Amy's reaction says it all. She blinks as if trying to wake up. Her lips part, trying to say his name. Her hands tremble. And then, the scene cuts, leaving viewers stunned, breathless, emotional. How is this possible? Didn't Ty die? We saw Amy go through the pain. We watched her raise Lindy without him. We cried with her. For the first time in a long time, Heartland gives us a mystery that cuts deeper than drama. It goes straight into the emotional core of the story. But it's not just Amy who's shaken. The next shot shows Jack standing on the porch. He sees them. He drops his coffee cup. Lou, nearby, covers her mouth in shock. Tim says nothing, for once, completely speechless. Georgie walks in, confused, her face turning pale. The entire family stands still, as if time itself has bent, just for this moment. And then Lindy. She peeks from behind the screen door, eyes curious, not yet understanding what the others already feel. She sees the man standing near her mother. Something stirs inside her. Like recognition. Like instinct. Like love. This is the setup for what might be Heartland's most emotional storyline in years. Not just because of who's come back, but because of what it means. Ty's presence reopens old wounds. Questions flood in. Is this a dream? A spirit visit? A trauma-induced vision? Or could there be a deeper twist, something real that has yet to be explained? The show doesn't answer right away. Instead, it lets the moment breathe. It lets the characters and the viewers sit with the weight of the impossible. And in doing so, it delivers a scene that fans will remember for years to come. Before we can understand the weight of Ty Borden's shocking return, we have to go back. Back to the moment fans still talk about, the moment that shattered hearts all over the world. Ty's story in Heartland is more than just a romance or a character arc. It's the emotional spine of the entire show. When he first came to Heartland in Season 1, he was a troubled boy, with a painful past. A criminal record, a broken family, and no direction. But over time, he found purpose. He found healing. And most of all, he found love in Amy Fleming. Together, Amy and Ty became the beating heart of the series. They weren't just a couple, they were a symbol of growth, forgiveness, and hope. We watched them fall in love, work through their differences, build a life, and eventually start a family. Fans saw them marry under the open sky and raise their daughter, Lindy, in the place where it all began, the Heartland Ranch. That's why what happened in Season 14 felt like such a painful blow. At the very start of the season, in a moment that seemed to come out of nowhere, Ty collapsed. He had been shot protecting Amy at the end of Season 13. And while it looked like he had recovered, a complication from that injury had quietly developed. A blood clot. It moved fast, And suddenly, Ty was gone. No long hospital scenes. No final goodbyes. Just a moment, and then silence. That silence still echoes for fans. The entire Heartland community went into shock. Social media lit up with disbelief and heartbreak. Many wondered why the show would make such a bold, painful decision. Why now? Why him? Behind the scenes. It was a personal choice. Actor Graham Wardle, who had played Ty for over a decade, decided to move on from the show. He spoke openly about needing to follow his own path, saying he felt it was time for a new chapter in his life. The creators of Heartland respected that, and chose to write Ty's death with realism, rather than dragging it out or softening the blow. But for fans, it still felt unreal. Amy's grief became the grief of every viewer. Watching her try to raise Lindy alone, still wearing her wedding ring, still talking to Ty in her mind, was nothing short of devastating. She stayed strong for her daughter, but her eyes always held the sadness of someone who had lost their soulmate. Jack tried to support her, but he too was grieving. Ty had become like a grandson to him. Lou and Tim rallied around Amy, trying to keep the ranch running and the family together. But things had changed. Everything had changed. In season 15 and beyond, Heartland focused on healing, on moving forward, on learning to live with loss. Amy began working with horses again. She helped others find peace, even when she was still struggling herself. Lindy, still just a child, slowly grew into her father's memory. Her dark eyes, her quiet strength, fans saw pieces of Ty in her, more and more with each passing season. By season 18, many viewers had come to accept that Ty was gone. His presence lived on in the stories, in the photos on the walls, in Amy's quiet moments alone. Some fans still held on to hope, dreaming of a flashback, a vision, anything. But most accepted that Ty's chapter had closed. And then, season 19 arrived. No promos teased it, no spoilers gave it away. But there it was, Ty Borden, standing just feet away from Amy, looking at her the way he used to, saying her name like no time had passed. The moment was so powerful, so unexpected, that fans began to question everything they thought they knew. Was Ty ever really gone? Is this a spiritual return? A dream Amy needed to have to finally let go? Or is there something else happening, something the show has kept secret? As the camera lingers on Amy's shocked face and Lindy's quiet, curious stare. We're reminded that in Heartland, love has always been the strongest force of all, maybe strong enough to cross even the boundary between life and death. And so, the question remains, what does Ty Borden's return really mean? After Ty's death, Heartland didn't rush to fill the silence he left behind. Instead, it let that silence shape everything. Seasons 15 through 18 are some of the show's quietest, most emotional chapters, and they serve as a long, slow preparation for the moment that now stuns us in season 19. The show never tried to replace Ty. Instead, it asked the harder question: how do you live after losing someone who was your entire world? For Amy, this wasn't just grief. It was transformation. We watched her try to return to normal, working with horses, raising Lindy, keeping the ranch going, but something had changed inside her. She smiled, but not the same way. She worked hard, but often alone. Ty had once been the calm in her storm. Now, Amy had to become that calm for Lindy. The writers gave Amy space to grieve, not just for Ty, but for the future they had planned together. No quick love interests. No dramatic plot twists to distract her. Instead, they let her quietly grow stronger. She started to open up again. Slowly, she found joy in training horses, especially those that reminded her of Ty's gentle way with animals. And then there was Lindy. As she got older, fans noticed something special about her. Her quiet strength, the way she looked at the world, her connection with horses almost instinctive, just like her dad's. She was still young, but her presence was powerful. Every scene with Lindy reminded viewers of what Ty left behind, not just memories, but a living legacy. Jack, Lou, and Tim also played key roles during these seasons. Jack kept the ranch together with his steady wisdom. Lou, now mayor, balanced leadership and sisterhood, and Tim, flawed, unpredictable Tim, tried to support his daughter while dealing with his own guilt over not being able to protect her from loss. But what made these seasons special was their quiet honesty. No big emotional speeches, Just everyday life. Feeding horses, watching Lindy grow, letting Amy stand in the barn alone, looking up at the sky, and whispering Ty's name. The kind of grief that doesn't shout, it stays with you like a shadow. Asterisk. But what made these seasons special was their quiet honesty. Asterisk, no big emotional speeches, just everyday life. Feeding horses, watching Lindy grow, letting Amy stand in the barn alone, looking up at the sky, and whispering Ty's name. The kind of grief that doesn't shout, it stays with you like a shadow. Asterisk. Still, there were moments, subtle ones. A photo of Ty falling off a shelf and Amy catching it. A dream sequence where Lindy runs through the fields and swears she saw a man with kind eyes. An old voicemail from Ty that plays by accident. These weren't flashy, but they were meaningful. Clues, maybe, or just signs that the past wasn't really gone, just waiting in the background. Asterisk. Then came season 18. Asterisk. Fans started to feel a shift. Amy seemed lighter. Not over the loss, never that, but stronger, more open. She laughed more. She began telling Lindy stories about Ty, not just sad ones, but happy ones. She took Lindy to the spot where Ty proposed. She read old letters he had written during his time away in Mongolia. Lindy began to ask more questions. What was Daddy like? And Amy answered with tears, but also with a smile. Asterisk. In one quiet episode, Amy sits at Ty's grave and talks out loud, just like she used to when he first passed. Only this time, she doesn't cry. She thanks him. She tells him Lindy is growing into someone he'd be proud of. And then she says something simple but powerful. I think we're ready, Ty, ready to move forward, but not without you. Asterisk. That moment felt like closure or at least a turning point. But what fans didn't expect was that Heartland had been planting seeds all along, seeds that were about to grow into the biggest surprise in years. Asterisk. As season 19 approached, rumors began to swirl. Interviews hinted that something major was coming. The cast grew quiet when asked about Ty, and fans began to speculate. Could there be a flashback? A dream? Something spiritual? Asterisk. Still, no one guessed the truth. That Ty would actually return, not in memory, not in flashback, but standing in the same place where we lost him. Asterisk. And when it finally happened, it wasn't loud, it was a quiet moment. One of those classic Heartland scenes. The sky soft, the ranch still, the wind brushing through the grass. And then his voice. Asterisk. Hey Amy. Asterisk. The build-up wasn't about drama, it was about healing. About slowly bringing Amy, Lindy, and the audience to a place where this return would mean more than just shock, it would mean hope. Asterisk. Because after all the silence, all the sadness, all the slow steps forward, maybe this wasn't just a surprise twist. Maybe it was something Heartland had been working toward for a long, long time. Asterisk. It's the moment that stopped every Heartland fan in their tracks. Asterisk. Amy hears a voice she hasn't heard in years. She turns, and there he is. Ty standing in front of her, calm and still, like no time has passed. No scars, no sign of sickness, just Ty. Asterisk. And suddenly, nothing feels real anymore. Asterisk. The scene doesn't explain itself right away. It doesn't need to. The emotion is enough. Amy's breath catches in her throat. Her eyes search his face like she's afraid he'll disappear if she blinks. The screen goes quiet. Not even background music dares to play over the weight of this moment. Asterisk. But the big question is how. Asterisk. How is Ty Borden back? Let's break it down. There are 3 possibilities, and the show has left just enough clues for each one. Asterisk. At first, this seems like the most likely explanation. Amy has dreamed about Ty before. After his death in season 14, there were moments when she saw him in her sleep. Always peaceful, always silent. But this dream feels different. Asterisk. This Ty talks. He moves. He walks beside her and reaches out. He asks questions. He reacts when she cries. He looks at Lindy. Asterisk. That's not how most dreams work on Heartland. They're usually quiet and symbolic. This moment feels real. Asterisk. Still, Amy has been under stress. She's facing a major decision about Lindy's future, maybe even thinking about leaving the ranch. Could her mind have created this vision of Ty to help guide her? Maybe. But then there's Lindy's reaction. Asterisk. Some fans believe this is something deeper, something Heartland has only hinted at in the past. A spiritual visit. Asterisk. The show has never leaned heavily into the supernatural. But it's always been full of moments that feel almost magical. Horses sensing danger. People feeling unseen connections, and dreams that leave behind real emotions. Asterisk, in this theory, Ty isn't physically alive, but he's returned in spirit. Not a ghost, but a presence. A moment of comfort. A message from beyond. Asterisk, Amy's emotional state may have opened the door, and perhaps Lindy, so young, so open-hearted, could see him because she believes. Children, after all, often sense things adults cannot. In the scene, she walks toward him slowly, without fear. She looks up at him and simply says, "Hi, Daddy." Asterisk, it's one of the most emotional lines in the entire series. Simple, honest, real. Asterisk, Ty smiles. He kneels down to meet her eyes. And in that moment, it doesn't matter what's real and what's not. What matters is connection. What matters is love. And in Heartland, that's always been the truth at the center of everything. Still, some fans are asking something even bolder. Asterisk, could Ty have survived after all? Did someone save him off screen? Could there have been a mistake? A cover-up? A twist no one saw coming? Asterisk, it's not impossible, especially in television. Other shows have done it before. A character disappears or is believed to be dead, only to return later with a shocking explanation. Asterisk, there are whispers that maybe Ty went into hiding to protect his family from danger, or that a medical miracle saved him, and he lost his memory, only now regaining it. Far-fetched maybe. But fans are hungry for answers. Asterisk, the way Ty interacts with Amy and Lindy doesn't feel like a memory. He responds in the moment. He seems aware of time passing. He knows Lindy's name. That changes everything. Asterisk, so what is the truth? Asterisk, the showrunners aren't saying. Not yet, but maybe the mystery is part of the point. Asterisk, Ty's return is more than a twist, it's an emotional event. One that makes Amy question her reality, makes Lindy believe in something she's never known, and makes the entire family face the past in a way they weren't ready for. Asterisk, Lou breaks down when she sees him. Jack walks away, overwhelmed. Tim demands answers. And Georgie. She hugs Ty like she never let go. Asterisk, everyone reacts differently, but no one doubts what they're feeling. Even if it doesn't make sense, it feels right. It feels like home. Asterisk, in true Heartland fashion, the show doesn't give us a clear answer right away. Instead, it leans into emotion, into connection, and into the kind of hope that only this show knows how to create. Asterisk, because maybe it doesn't matter if Ty is a dream, a ghost, or real. Maybe what matters is that Amy and Lindy got this moment, this one moment. After all the pain, all the questions, all the years, they got to say hello again. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. In a story full of loss, healing, and unexpected returns, nothing hits harder than a child's truth. Asterisk, Lindy has never really known her father. She was just a baby when he passed. All her memories of Ty come from stories told by Amy, from old photos, and from the way people speak his name, with both love and pain. But now, in a moment no one expected, she sees him standing in front of her. Asterisk, she doesn't question it. She doesn't hesitate. While the adults around her freeze in shock, Lindy does something that silences the entire scene. She walks forward, barefoot. With soft steps on the wooden porch, she moves toward the man in the dusty jacket and warm smile. Her eyes are wide, but not scared. She tilts her head, almost like she knows. Like she's seen him before, not in dreams, but in her heart. Asterisk, Amy gasps softly, watching her daughter approach Ty, without fear. It's the kind of moment that stops everything, time, sound, even breath. Asterisk, Lindy looks up. Her voice is small but strong. Asterisk, hi, Daddy. Asterisk, Ty kneels to meet her at eye level. His expression softens. His eyes are already wet. He says her name, not as a question, but like he's known it forever. Asterisk, Lindy. Asterisk, that's when it happens. The moment that melts your heart. Lindy, without a word, throws her arms around him. Asterisk, no dramatic music. No speeches, just that quiet, powerful hug. Asterisk, for a second, Amy doesn't know whether to cry or smile. Jack lowers his head. Lou wipes away tears. Even Tim, who rarely shows vulnerability, has to look away. Asterisk, it's not just a hug between a daughter and her father. It's a moment where all the years of pain, confusion, and longing dissolve, if only for a heartbeat. Asterisk, in that embrace, Lindy seems to say everything she's never been able to ask. Where have you been? Why did you go? I missed you. Asterisk, and Ty, holding her tight, seems to answer without words. I never left you. Asterisk this moment, more than any twist or explanation, is what fans will carry with them. Asterisk because in Heartland, the most powerful scenes are not the loud ones, they're the quiet ones, the real ones. And this was real. Asterisk whether Ty's return is a dream, a vision, or a miracle, what matters most is how it feels. And for Lindy, it feels like home. Like finally meeting the piece of her heart that's always been missing. Asterisk as Amy watches her daughter in Ty's arms, she doesn't rush the moment. She just stands still, her hand over her mouth, eyes wide with both disbelief and overwhelming love. It's as if, for the first time in years, she sees not just what she lost, but what she still has. The camera lingers. There's no rush to explain. No need for answers yet. Because this moment is the answer. Asterisk, a little girl, her father, and a hug that rewrites everything. Asterisk, and just like that, Heartland reminds us why we keep coming back. Why we watch through tears. Why we never stopped hoping. Asterisk,